Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you might be listening to this. I am your host, Sutton Def, and you are listening to Quiet Storm Sports on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. Again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you might be listening to this. Again, I am your host, Sutton Def, and you are listening to Quiet Storm Sports on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel, a Baltimore Ravens centric podcast. So if you're into that, this is your first time tuning in. Hello, shout out to you. My name is Sutton Def. Welcome in. Thank you for joining the Rain Gang family. Make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel as well. We'd appreciate that. We'd appreciate that. Me and my co-host Simply AS10, who isn't joining me today, but today happens to be a very special day, right? Very, very special day. Uh, Today's my birthday. Today is my 30th birthday, 30th trip around the sun. I am very grateful for, I'm grateful for a lot of things. I'm going to get into it. I got to bring up who's here in the live chat. Terry Mitchell, what's going on, Terry? Says, yo, happy Bday, Sutton. Appreciate that, Terry. Tila in the chat says, happy birthday, Sutton. Thank you, Tila, so much. I appreciate you guys for the birthday wishes. That's very kind, very kind. But I'm very, Mike, appreciate it. I'm very appreciative for a lot of things. First off, being, this podcast, this YouTube channel has been a huge blessing in my life the past, 5 years now. And, I'm thankful for each and every one of you guys who support us each and every day, each and every week, every episode. You guys rock out with us through the good times, the bad times, when we have great shows and we have some technical difficulties and things like that. You guys always show up. You guys always support it, man. I can't thank you guys enough. I really can't thank you guys enough. If there's one thing that I'd say I'm probably most thankful for on my birthday, it's the Rain Gang. It's the community here that me and Alex have built again over the last 5 years. I I'm really speechless when it comes to you guys. You guys amaze me. You guys do not fail to amaze me each and every time that I click that go live button on here. You guys amaze me. Appreciate the birthday wishes, Marat. Appreciate the birthday wishes, Zeke. Appreciate that, Mike. And you know what? I normally don't go live on Saturdays, but today again is a special Saturday. It's my 30th birthday. So I wanna do a little tribute to our guy Coach Sip to Tally Films, right? Sippers, right? You guys know the sippers, right? So you know what I'm doing today. You see what I got here? I got a little shot glass poured up right here, in my Baltimore Ravens shot glass. Very beautiful shot glass, by the way. Very beautiful. This is to a Ravens W. This is to my birthday. This is to you. Cheers. Big cheers, big cheers, big cheers. Zeke, I appreciate that. Says, God bless Sutton. Enjoy your day, bro, and engage. Good everyone. Yeah. Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate that. Tila says, good times, bad times, Zay times, all that. All that. Exactly. Exactly. Salute, salute, salute. Um, but enough about me. We're not here to talk about me. I know it's my birthday, but we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about our Ravens, right? Our 7-7 Ravens, still scratching and clawing to make the playoffs, right? And they have a very big matchup this week against the New England Patriots, who, I kind of have okay, so little backstory about the Patriots and my relationship with the Patriots. I had a friend who I grew up with who was a diehard New England Patriots fan. And this guy, he was absolutely like, Tom Brady was his idol. That entire dynasty where the Patriots were winning a bunch of games, a bunch of Super Bowls, rather. He was all in my ear about it. His name was Jay. And shout out to Jay. Um, he watched the last Patriots Super Bowl win at my house. And that was a great day because I was proud of him, for being a fan of a team who was doing so well, and he was confident and he boasted about the Patriots all the time. And again, like I said, he came over to my house for the Patriots versus Rams Super Bowl. I think that was in 2000 and what, 18 or 19, one of the two. And the Patriots won the game. And unfortunately, that was the last time that he saw his idol Tom Brady win a Super Bowl. Because my best friend, Jay, he died in 2020 uh, due to an overdose. And yeah, I've just kind of always looked at the Patriots. Like when I see the Patriots, I think of him. I think of him. And he's he was one of my dearest friends, one of my best friends. So rest in peace, rest in power to my guy Jay, the Patriots fan. I know he would be very, very proud of this current Patriots team, who was sitting at what, 11-3 or 11-4, one of the two. He'd be very proud. Um, but I say that to say, and yes, it was tequila, not vodka, Mike. This week, I'm throwing all that shit out the window, right? And I'm talking up to the heavens to my guy Jay on my birthday, and I'm saying, hey, look, we gonna beat the Patriots' ass on Sunday Night Football. It's gotta happen. It needs to happen. Okay. And again, we're gonna talk about in this video what the Ravens need to do to go ahead and achieve that. You feel me? So without any further ado, let's get into the news segment for this episode of the show, shall we? Let's get into the news segment. All right. So, things that we need to worry about going into this Sunday Night Football matchup against the New England Patriots. Exhibit A. Kyle Hamilton is hurt. Kyle Hamilton is injured. Apparently, he's got an ankle injury. Apparently, Jonas Schaefer, who I'm going to mention a lot in this episode of Quiet Storm Sports, Jonas Schaefer saw Kyle Hamilton limping around after practice yesterday. Not a good sign. And if you also look at the second half of this tweet and what it's saying, it says Chidobe Awuzie is also doubtful for the game. So basically, he's not going to play. I can't even count on my hands, on one hand, right, how many times a player has been ruled doubtful and ended up playing. Doubtful means he's not playing. That's what that is a translation for. Chidobe Awuzie is not playing. Kyle Hamilton is questionable, again, seen limping around yesterday. That's not good news. Do I think that his ankle could be okay by Sunday night? Maybe. Is putting a what, maybe 50% Kyle Hamilton out there, is that, going to be advantageous to the Ravens? I don't know. So that's concerning. Especially given this Patriots team is the best team in the entire National Football League at throwing down the field. They can throw deep. They've done it time and time again, right? They're the best team in the league at throwing deep. So if you don't have a Kyle Hamilton who on 3rd and 6 or 3rd and whatever is going to be able to get after Drake May, speed up his quarterback clock, and not allow him to throw deep, or at least force him to make an ill-advised throw, I hate to break it to you guys, but I think that Drake May might have all day back there. I had the same concerns against Aaron Rodgers just 2 weeks ago before the Ravens played the Steelers. I said it. I said, if the Ravens allow Aaron Rodgers to sit back there all day, examine the field, and even if they don't, even if they just give him 30 more milliseconds than the average pass rush would give Aaron Rodgers, he's going to kill us. And guess what he did? He had the best game of his career as a Steeler against us the other week. Him and DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf looked like he was at Ole Miss again. Aaron Rodgers looked like he was at Cal. They torched us. So I could totally see if the Ravens don't get a pass rush, especially if Kyle Hamilton is not able to play and Zach Orr cannot dial up a blitz with Kyle Hamilton off the edge on 3rd and long, who's going to get home? Who's going to get home? Tavius Robinson, I'm looking at you. Mike Green, I'm looking at you. Kyle Van Noy, you're supposed to be the leader, veteran of this pass rush. Where are you? Wake the fuck up. Get after the quarterback. That's what if you want to ask me what I want for my birthday, I want at least 2 to 3 sacks on Drake May tomorrow. Preferably 3. I'll take 2, but preferably 3. I want drive-ending sacks. I want immediate pressure. Who's going to do it? Somebody's got to do it. Whether it be Draymond Jones, like I said, Tavius Robinson, Kyle Van Noy, Travis Jones up the middle. Somebody's got to get pressure on this kid. Because guess what? The Patriots treat their passing game like their run game. It's damn near their base. So I can't even say force the Patriots into passing the football. They're going to be doing that from the get-go, regardless. And how do you stop that? You got to make Drake uncomfortable. That's all it boils down to. That's all it is. Void in the chat. What's up, Void? Ashley says, happy birthday, Sutton. Thank you, Ashley. ISO in the chat. What up? What up? Appreciate y'all for coming through. Yeah, this is my birthday stream, guys. My birthday stream. I told you guys I was going to go live on my birthday. Here I am. Maybe I'll take another shot for you guys on cam. I just took a shot out of my Ravens shot glass here. We're celebrating all day, you know. If you want to celebrate with me, let me know. I'd appreciate it. I'd appreciate it. Again, celebrating all day. Okay. But again, and apologies to the replay gang. I know some of you guys, a lot of you guys are watching this episode after the fact. I know, you know, I'm talking to the chat. I'm taking shots on live. But again, it's my birthday. So I'm a do me. I'm going to do me. Okay. I hope that's okay. Hope that's okay today. But let's move on to some other news, right? I talked about Kyle Hamilton. I think that his absence, if he is not able to go on Sunday, that could be potentially very, very dangerous for this Ravens secondary, especially also if Cheeto can't go either. Mike says, I'll take a shot with you, Sutton. I got tequila on deck too. That's what I like to hear, Mike. That's what I like to hear. You got it poured up? I hope you got it poured up because I do. We right here with it. We right here with it. We're going to get back into the Ravens content in just a second here. We're going to take a little break. Take a little break real quick. Take a shot with the Rain Gang. It's my 30th birthday. You see me. You see little half shots here. I got to maintain. It's early. It's early. It's almost noon there in on the East Coast. But you guys know I'm in Texas, so we're on Central Time. It's 10:30 here. Still a little bit early, right? But it is my birthday, so cheers to that. Cheers to you guys. Salute. Man. Y'all gonna get an unhinged Sutton. Zeke in the chat says, I don't drink, but I'll take a bong rip, though. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, Zeke. That's what I'm talking about, Zeke. I love that. I love that. I'll take a rip of the bong, too. Maybe not on the show. I won't do it on the show, right? But salute to you. Salute to you. I respect it. Okay. Mike says, let me get my Raven shot glass, too. He says, yeah, bro, I'm in Texas, too, but F it. You're in Texas? Where are you at in Texas, Mike? I said we might gotta hang out or something. We might gotta hang out. But okay. Let's get back into what we came to get into, guys. Again, I hate to derail this episode with all my birthday shenanigans, but again, it's my birthday. It only happens once a year. Once a year. So let's see. What else do we got, guys? What else do we got? So news out of the Patriots organization. Couple people aren't playing. Couple people did not practice Friday, right? Defensive tackle Christian Barmore with a knee injury did not practice on Friday. That is what led to his official questionable designation. So you know what it's looking like? Because Robert Spillane, their leading tackler, the Patriots' leading tackler, linebacker Robert Spillane, who I have a lot of respect for, by the way, he is not going to play in this game. He's been ruled out. That is a huge blow to this Patriots defense. And if defensive tackle Christian Barmore can't go either, you know what that means. The middle of that defense is going to be Charmin soft. So what does that mean? That means you hand it to Derrick Henry in home at Baltimore. You give it to him 20 plus times, right? And you make sure Keaton Mitchell gets the ball at least 7 to 8 times. That may be asking for a lot, especially when you have Lamar Jackson at quarterback, who you want him to kind of get his heroics off and things like that. I get that. But at the same time, this should be a very run-dominant game from the Ravens. Very run-dominant. As a matter of fact, I want to look at the Patriots' run defense stats really quick. Can we do that? I'm going to share my screen with you guys here. There we go. Let me see. Oh, we dropped out. Hold on. Let me share it again. We're going to look at this together because I want to see exactly how good, at least, statistically, how good is this Patriots run D. Let's check it out. We got a super chat donation in the house. Who's that coming from? Chike, what's going on, Chike? Appreciate the super chat donation, dropping the 2-piece in the chat on my birthday, man. I appreciate that. Chike. It says 40 carries from Derrick and 15 touches from Keaton. Hey, man. Those are very inflated numbers. And I wish, we could see a game like that. But, 40 carries is crazy. 40 carries is absolutely insane. But appreciate the super chat donation, Chike. Appreciate that. Let me see. Rushing. Patriots defense. Look at this. Over on the right-hand side of the screen, guys, right here where I'm highlighting. The Patriots defense, the Patriots run defense is not very good. It is bang average at best. Bang average. Okay. You look at some of these numbers here. Patriots run defense against shotgun runs, ranked number 26 in the league. Patriots run defense against quarterback scrambles, ranked number 16 in the league. Again, bang average. Patriots run defense versus or when the Patriots have a light box, right? When they're not loading up the box, they're number 16 in the league at stopping the run. The Patriots, when they do stack the box, they're only ranked 20th in the league at stopping the run. They're ranked 14th in the league at rushing outside of the tackles and defending those type of plays. Overall, rushing defense efficiency ranked 10th in the league, which isn't bad, right? But the Ravens ranked number 2 in the league at rushing efficiency. At home, this should be the go-to. Honestly, this should be a very, and I know we picked the over on PRP on our Purple Rain parlay, but the more that I'm thinking about it, guys, I think that the Ravens will probably try to run the air out of the ball, which will deplete a lot of clock time very, very quickly. So because I remember the over-under was 48.5. It could very well be under. It also, if things go a certain way, it could very well be over. If the secondaries on both teams aren't showing up, it could very well go over. But if the Ravens are successfully running the ball and running out the clock, I could totally see it going under 48.5 total points as well. Again, my point overall is that this should be a run-dominant game from the Ravens. No need to put it in the air a bunch of times. Honestly, play the exact same formula of football that you played last week against the Bengals. Lamar Jackson threw the ball 12 times. 12 times. 8 for 12. The Ravens did not attempt a pass in the fourth quarter. It should be one of those games. Tila says, I want our offense to do 30 plus. Trust me, Tila, I do too. They have not scored 30 plus with Lamar Jackson since week 3 against the Detroit Lions. Insane. 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 Johnny Hewitt, what's going on, Johnny? Says we need to step it up in the red zone. This game, Pat's last in the red zone defense. This game, Pat's last. What do you mean by that, Johnny? Maybe I'm just confused. Maybe I've had too many shots already. By the way, I got another one poured up. If whoever wants to salute me, whoever wants to cheers me on my birthday here, I'll cheers you. Let me get some bold predictions for this game. Can I get some bold predictions? Tila says Lamar Jackson touchdown. Obviously, I think he's going to score a passing touchdown. Rushing touchdown is also on the table. We look at these numbers here. Patriots bang average at quarterback scrambles, at defending that. They're also, again, they're down Robert Spillane. Their linebacking core is beat up. I could see Lamar Jackson getting out of the pocket, getting to the second level, maybe in the red zone, and scoring a touchdown. I could totally see it. Sprinkle a little bit of money. Sprinkle some money on that. Chike says, Sutton, happy birthday. Appreciate that, Chike. Robert Spillane won't play, which means there's going to be a backup playing, which means we need to run that football 40 times, bro. Derek getting his 25 touches and Keaton 15. I do not disagree with that. Now, 25 and 15 is very, very lofty. Again, when you have a Lamar Jackson, I think Todd Monken just kind of sometimes defers to Lamar Jackson. And it just says, we're going to draw up a play where Lamar has the ball in his hands, and we're going to see what he does. Because the big play potential when Lamar has the ball in his hands is so high that you really can't justify just giving Derrick Henry 25 carries. You can't really justify giving Keaton Mitchell 10 to 15 carries. You got to let Lamar be Lamar. You got to let him do his thing. He's a multi-time MVP, most valuable player for a reason. He's one of the best, if not the most talented quarterbacks in the National Football League. One of the most talented quarterbacks of all time. So it's going to be tough to not, let Lamar have his opportunities, but I totally get what you're saying there, Chike, and I appreciate the happy birthday wishes. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Let me see. Zeke says he's packing up the bong. Okay. I like that. Bold predictions. Void, what's going on, Void? Says an Aeneas Peebles snaps. As bold as it gets. Hey, look, man. When it comes to Aeneas Peebles, unfortunately, I don't think that we're going to see him very much until potentially next season. After Madubuike officially retires, because it's kind of unofficial right now, but word on the street, and the kind of the general consensus is that he's probably going to wrap things up, football-wise. That neck injury that he sustained earlier in this year against the Cleveland Browns, week 2, I believe it was, nothing to play with, in terms of like his life as a whole. Like you gotta be careful with that type of stuff, right? The neck has so many nerves that lead to all other body parts. You just can't play football on a bad neck. You just can't. So he's gonna retire. So Aeneas Peebles should get an opportunity. And the reason why I think that he really should get more of an opportunity and more of a chance to play is because we value draft picks so much. And if I'm Eric DeCosta, I got to feel some type of way about John Harbaugh, right? Because, like, my name's Eric, right? I love draft picks so freaking much that I'm not even willing to exchange a 3rd round pick. I wouldn't even give up a 2nd round pick for Micah Parsons. That's probably how Eric DeCosta feels. That's probably how much he values draft picks. And that may be a little bit of hyperbole. I may be exaggerating just a bit, just a tad. But from what we've seen, this Ravens organization led underneath general manager Eric DeCosta, they value draft picks. So when you have draft picks like Aeneas Peebles, like Emory Jones, who was a 3rd round pick, why do you not use them? If I'm Eric, I'm going to John. I'm walking through my backyard. And I'm yelling across the backyard to John, because you guys know their backyards are connected. They're literally neighbors. And I'm saying, hey, Come over here real quick. Let's have a little chat. So I'm stockpiling all these draft picks every single season just for you to not play guys who don't get drafted in the second round or higher. What is up with that? Should I like just start offloading these draft picks? Again, Eric DaCosta talking to John Harbaugh. Should I just start offloading these draft picks in exchange for, maybe some more proven veteran talent that's already in the league? Like, how are you? It feels like we're not on the same page, John. Because I'm drafting these guys and you're not playing them. Right? They have one bad practice and all of a sudden they're shut down for the season. What is that about? If I'm EDC, I'm having those type of conversations with John Harbaugh. I am. Tila says as her bold prediction, Pat Ricard touchdown. Oh, that's a little bit too bold. That's a little bit too bold. Maybe if this was like 2020, two Greg Roman days, I could say, yeah, maybe. But a Pat Ricard touchdown in the big 2025 underneath Todd Monken, not happening. Not happening. Isaiah Likely statement game, taking the over for him on FanDuel. What is the over for? I think it's like 25.5, right? Over 25.5, over under 25.5 receiving yards for Isaiah Likely. He had no targets, no catches last week. But the 2 weeks prior to that, he was one of Lamar Jackson's biggest targets. I like it. You're talking about a tight end who's going to be running through a depleted linebacking room. I like the over 25.5. The odds on it, I'm sure, might not be worth the squeeze on it. So I might not squeeze that, that prop bet, but I might lightly sprinkle on it. A little $5-10, right? A little $5-10. Let me see. Let me see what y'all are saying here in the chat. Bateman is a non-factor. Oh man, I hope not. I really want Bateman to score another touchdown. I really do. Let me see in the chat. Jessica in the house says, Rain Gang. What's going on, Jessica? Full disclosure, Jessica is my lady. That is my woman. She's in here supporting me on my birthday. I appreciate that, Jess. Thank you, baby. Let me see who else is in here. LBHT show. Bold prediction, Malachi Starks interception. Shout out to LBHT, man. Shout out to Jose and Brodney over there at Lunch Break Hot Take. Go subscribe to those guys over there. They do a great job. They do their Wednesday show at 7. Jose also goes live during the week in the mornings. Make sure you guys check that out. Love what they got going on. And I really appreciate another thing that I have appreciated this season is the Ravens Roundup. The Ravens Roundup, and I have the mug right here to show for it, where I'm on live literally every Tuesday at 5 p.m. my time, so 6 you guys' time, most of you guys at least on the East Coast. And I'm with Coach Sip to Tally Films, Jose from the Lunch Break Hot Take again, like we have featured here, Carrie from the Deep Cover Podcast, and also Chris from the Deep Cover Podcast as well. And we have a great time over there. And I've been having, for 15 weeks now, great conversations with those guys. If you guys haven't seen that show, you got to catch up on it. It's on Sip to Tally Films YouTube channel. Coach Ivan Evans. I know a lot of you guys know him or subscribe to him as well. We have a great time over there too. A great time. LBHT says, happy birthday, bro. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, Jose. Appreciate that. Let me see. Mike says, hello, Miss Sutton. I know that's right. Starks got to hold it down. They will try him deep often, so a pick is in the picture for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a bold prediction, but I do think that Malachi Starks is due. I mean, he had that kind of like little stretch, that 2-game stretch or 3-game stretch, whatever it was, where he was making big plays, looking very impactful, catching interceptions and things like that. with the way that Drake May loves to go down the field, I could totally see it. He's a great midfielder, like or open fielder. Um, Malachi Starks is. He doesn't really seem as impactful as a first round pick should. And again, I still don't agree with that pick. Don't get me wrong. I don't agree with a safety being taken in the first round when we have much bigger fish to fry, especially in the trenches. I still don't agree with it, right? But I love Malachi Starks. He's a Raven. He has been playing for me, like he's been doing his job, right? We haven't really allowed too many shots over the top this year. And the times that we have is, I think, more of an indictment on Zach Orr for calling single high coverage on, against like the likes of Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf. If you're gonna put one on one with DK Metcalf with one single high safety, you don't think that Aaron Rodgers can hit that hole shot without cover two with a single high safety? He's gonna hit that every time, right? So a lot of our defensive struggles, I think, have come from the coaching issues, the coaching blunders, as opposed to the players. But again, Malachi Starks, I like what I've seen from him so far. I do think that it is possible. It is on the table that he could have a big play, potentially an interception. And Jose, it surprises me that you say that because you're all for the defunding the defense. So I thought that your bold prediction might come from the offensive side of the football. It's funny. It's just funny. It's just funny. Void says bold prediction: Tez Walker 50+ yard touchdown. Hey man, I would love to look up the odds on that. I don't know if it's available, but Tez needs to get the ball more. I don't know how. And again, this may just be a Harbaugh thing. I don't know how much he has his influence on the team, but what you saw in the couple of Tez Walker targets, we're talking about, deep shots. We're talking about potential touchdown plays. He scored a couple of touchdowns this year already. Why is he not on the field more? Right? Why don't we see? I mean, you were wrong about Keaton Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell, you didn't play him for the first half of the season. Now he's in. He's cooking. Tez Walker, you've seen kind of like flashes of greatness from him. Why is he not getting more opportunities? Especially if you're not going to give D-Hop those opportunities. Somebody in this receiving core, other than Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews, has got to get targeted. We got to start spreading it around a little bit more. I mean, and I think Lamar, I don't know, the opportunities come so few and far between by the virtue of our running game, which I'm not complaining about because I just sat up here and said, hey, yeah, we need to run the ball. But when we do throw, I want to see some of these other guys get involved, right? Because I feel like we have a lot of talent in the receiving core. Rashad Bateman. I'm not talking about the top dogs again, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, but Rashad Bateman, Tez Walker, hell, Tylan Wallace. You know what I mean? All these guys have proven on multiple occasions that, hey, look, when you get me the ball, I can make something happen. With the limited volume that those guys get, they make things happen. Rashad Bateman had 10 touchdown catches last season. Tylan Wallace has had multiple game-changing touchdowns against the Bengals last year in primetime on Thursday Night Football. A couple of years ago against the Rams, I was at that game when he has the walk-off touchdown, the punt return. Tez Walker, again, what, 40% of his catches as a professional are touchdowns? Get him the ball. Get him the ball. I think Tez Walker 50+ yards for a touchdown. That's not a bad take. Not a bad take. Let me see here. Hashtag defund the defense, LOL, but that's because we already have enough on that side. I think that's true. I think that the only place that, the Ravens have not funded the offense enough is the offensive line. They continue to go cheap there because Lamar Jackson is so dynamic with his legs. And if there is one area that you could technically afford to go cheap if you have Lamar Jackson at quarterback, probably is offensive line. Until Lamar gets banged up and he can't use his legs to get out of trouble. And that's what we've been seeing. That's been the entire story of the 2025 season for the Baltimore Ravens. Right? So, yeah, man, I mean, you got to invest in the trenches. Got to invest in the trenches. So I agree with you there, especially the offensive line. Let me see. OG Sean says, once Todd Monken said Zay was getting the ball more this year, I knew all targets were going to go down. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a fact. I mean, he did say that in the offseason, like they wanted to get Zay Flowers more involved, which should have been writing on the wall for, hey, look, everybody else, take the under. Everybody else, take the under. Tylen over Bateman, I don't know about that. I don't know if we can go that far. That's a little much. That's a little much. That is a little much. Brandon says, I'm ready for this season to be over. Brandon is exhausted, and I feel you, brother. I feel you. I feel you. I mean, part of me feels like, hey, look, like just put us out of our misery. The Ravens still sit at what, like a 30% chance or something like that, somewhere in the 30% chance range to make the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, it just at this point in the season, we're used to the Ravens being, front runners. Lamar Jackson, we're debating whether or not he's going to win MVP at this point in the season. We're not thinking about, oh, well, if we win this game, if we win out and the Steelers lose this, then maybe we could potentially get a wild. We're not thinking about that normally. But the fact that we are this year, depression for sure. Lots of mental health going on over here. You know what I mean? For our Ravens team. Let me see. King Blaze says, I don't know what y'all see in Bateman. I see a lot in Bateman, bro. I see a lot in Bateman. Bateman, man, I'm telling y'all right now, he goes to another team. Let's say if Bateman went to, let's say the Patriots, right? You see what Drake May is doing with the likes of Stephon Diggs and Kayshon Boutte and Mac Hollins. If they had Rashad Bateman, he could be their wide receiver 2, damn near their wide receiver 1. We saw his deep ball capability last year. And my girl just walked in the room. I guess she's ready to take another shot. Hold on. You guys know it's my birthday stream. It's my birthday stream, guys. I'm going to take another shot. I'm taking these little, these little breaks here to pour up more tequila for your guy Sutton on his 30th birthday. Appreciate y'all for coming through, hanging out with me here. Salute to you guys. Man. That's crazy. Masturbate. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Why did I read that? Lil said it says, happy birthday. Big accomplishment. Yes, sir. Made it to 30 years old. That is a big accomplishment for sure. Appreciate that. Asmodia says, I'm not depressed. I'm apathetic. I was depressed going into the season. Why were you depressed going into the season, Asmodeus? We were favored to win the Super Bowl. The vibes were very high before the season started. I mean, we were, again, odds-on favorite, top 3 odds-on favorites to not only make but win the entire thing. Everybody was healthy. The only thing that we had kind of like issues about was the offensive line. That was the only thing. Asmodeus with the $5 super chat donation. Appreciate you, Asmodeus. Here on my birthday here. I appreciate that so much. That's towards your tequila funds. I recommend Don Julio Reposado, Cask Strength. Ooh, Don Julio Reposado. I am drinking on some Reposado. It's not Don. But Cask Strength? Interesting. Might have to look into that. Gotta look into that. OG Sean says, happy birthday, fam. Appreciate you, Sean. Best Nation donation, absolutely. Asmodeus here, again, dropping the super chat donation, making it rain here on the Purple Rain podcast. We appreciate you. Also, a member, also a moderator. Do not play with that boy. Don't play with him. It's my guy Asmodeus, man. Purple Rain pioneer around these parts. Okay. What else do I have to get into? Any more? Let me see. Jonas Schaefer interviewed DeAndre Hopkins, and DeAndre Hopkins said, obviously, there are a lot of guys that deserve the ball on this team. We have a good offense, so I wasn't and I'm not upset that things aren't statistically where I expected myself to be. So D Hop here showing some selflessness, saying that, even though I'm not getting the ball a whole bunch, which I personally think he should be getting the ball a whole lot more, he's still being gracious. He's still saying, a lot of other guys, there's some younger guys, the likes of Isaiah Likely, the likes of Zay Flowers, the likes of Rashad Bateman, who deserve more, more targets than me. I like that. I like that humility from D Hop. I do. I do. Let me see here. What else? What else do we have? Let me switch back to my screen share so you guys can see with me. We can go through it together. Share this tab. Let me see. Hang on. We're here together. Give me a second. There we go. Okay. So let me see. We're scrolling through Jonas Schaefer. Again, like I said, I'm going to bring him up a couple of times in this show. John Harbaugh said that John Jenkins, the nose tackle for the defense, with an illness, he should be ready by kickoff on Sunday. He has missed the past 2 practices. John Jenkins has been a very serviceable, I would say, nose tackle, interior D lineman for this Ravens team. He has his ups and he has his downs, right? But he's kind of like just like a middling player. You know what I mean? Like that's what he was with the Raiders as well in the past. Kind of like a middling interior D lineman. But the Ravens are going to need him. He has been a big part of why the Ravens have been able to shut down the run from opposing teams so often, especially down the stretch of the season, in the second half particularly. So John Jenkins, hope he's going to be good to go for the game. I think that he would. I mean, again, Harbaugh is saying it here. But another thing that I'll say is in the draft this year, you have to address the interior of the D-line. There might be other more maybe pressing matters, right? Like offensive line, maybe edge rusher, what have you. But John Jenkins, or not John Jenkins, but nose tackle or interior D-line rather, needs to be a priority for sure in the draft. Coach Mike Vrabel provides injury updates ahead of the New England
Harold will
Baltimore
be questionable.
game.
Barmore will be questionable. Carlton Davis will be questionable. Marcus Jones will be questionable. And Robert Spillane will be out.
Again, no Robert Spillane in this one. I think that's big. I think that's huge, actually. If this Ravens run game can get into the second level with Derrick Henry, Keaton Mitchell, it could be spooky. It could be very, very spooky. It could be a very, very much so a 24-13 victory for the Ravens at home. It could be one of those type of games. Just saying. Or 24-10, something like that. Gianna Hahn says defensive lineman John Jenkins and Teddy Buchanan are the only players missing from practice. With Cheetah Awuzie's return, that was as of yesterday. I think I've gotten through pretty much everything. Lamar Jackson loves Charlie Kolar.
Charlie!
Charlie's he's like a fan favorite on the team. Like Lamar loves him. A lot of the fans love him. I would love to have Charlie Kolar on this podcast. Maybe we can make that happen. Maybe I'll reach out to Charlie Kolar and see if he'll come on the pod. And we can kind of, because he's a real quirky guy, and I feel like he'd be fun to talk to. Maybe we can get him on the pod. We'll see. Stay tuned. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Again, my name is Sutton Def. This is the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel, and you're listening to Quiet Storm Sports. Actually, on my birthday, a birthday edition of the Quiet Storm Sports show here. My 30th birthday. Appreciate you guys again for coming through and rocking out with me. Let me see here. Jonas Schaefer said, asked Todd Monken about teaching pure progression reads versus coverage reads to quarterbacks. And here were Todd Monken's thoughts. Says, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but it seems like a lot of coordinators and quarterbacks have been asked about pure progression. Oh, okay, so this is the question. About pure progression versus coverage reads. Do you have a preference for the way that you teach it? Says Jonas Schaefer. I also want to get Jonas Schaefer on the pod too. That'd be fun. That'd be cool. I'll definitely hit up Jonas. It was said that this topic was going to come up. I said, well, I'm the eighth different guy that's going to have to comment on that. And really, all of it is exactly what quarterback coaches have talked about, which is with all the disguises and looks that you're going to see and all the things that quarterback has to go through. I think it enables at times a quarterback to have a smoke break. I mean that in terms of I can start on one side and kind of sweep the board. Old school, one high, two high man takes me to the side, especially in certain quick games concepts. But you see it across the board, and coaches have been doing that for a long time. Kyle Shanahan has been doing that for a while. That's shown up in their schemes. And Sean McVay, guys like that. And I think you're seeing more and more at that college level that way. So I think it's an easier transition for the guys. But I just think that with all the looks that you're getting, I think it enables a quarterback to at least get through his progressions a lot quicker. So I think, what Todd Monken is trying to get across here is that, simplifying an offense for some of these younger quarterbacks who are coming up, this new regime of quarterbacks that are coming up and through the ranks now, is a little bit better, and letting them kind of lean on their athleticism is the way to go, as opposed to having a just pure mental killer, the likes of a Tom Brady, the likes of a Peyton Manning. That breed of quarterback in today's game is dying, right? How many quarterbacks do you see in today's game that kind of mimic the game of a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady? How many? I mean, you're looking at maybe Jared Goff. You're looking at Aaron Rodgers, of course, who is still sticking around, and Jared Goff is a little bit long in the tooth as well. He's no spring chicken. Who else? What other pocket quarterbacks are in the league now? I know the youngest now is Shadur Sanders. We'll see how long that lasts, right? But most quarterbacks nowadays, they rely on their athleticism. They don't really rely on, you know, I guess you could say knowing the game inside and out and being that mental monster at the position. So dumbing down the game, I don't know if I like it. That's how you feel my loyalty to my three teams. Not gonna lie, we need to draft Peter Woods. I really need to get into my college bag because I don't know shit about college players, guys. You guys know that. I focus on the NFL during the season, but when the off season comes, that's when I tend to kind of start to shift my focus towards who's doing what in college to see who the Ravens could potentially draft. Let me see here. Peter Woods is a dog. We need him on the D line. If we went out though, no chance at getting him. Yeah, that's the thing. The Ravens will never be in a position where they have a high enough draft pick for that draft pick to make a noticeable impact and to know that he's going to make an impact upon drafting him. Everything's a question with the Ravens draft picks. I mean, Malachi Starks, great pick out of Georgia. Is he going to be impactful? Maybe. Great pick out of Marshall, second round pick Mike Green, Sun Belt Conference last year, 17 and a half sacks in the senior season. Is he going to be impactful over here at the professional level? Maybe. I don't know. We don't get those type of draft picks where it's like undeniable whether or not this guy's going to help out. We don't get those. We never get to celebrate our draft picks truly until what? September, October. So, but listen, guys, I am going to go ahead and end this stream here, almost an hour into it. Again, appreciate each and every one of you guys, coming through, rocking with me on a Saturday. I normally do not go live on Saturdays, but again, today is my birthday, so I felt like, I just, not that I had to, but that like I really wanted to. And again, I appreciate you guys so much, and that's why I am live here today on a day that I normally do not go live, because one of the biggest and greatest parts of my life is the Purple Rain podcast, is the Rain Gang, is, you guys showing up each and every episode, each and every week, each and every day, watching, commenting, subscribing, liking our videos. I appreciate that so much, man. And I can't thank you guys enough for how much you guys have changed my life. right? I before me and Alex started this podcast, this YouTube channel together, I felt very lost because I've always been a creative. I've been creating since I was, maybe what, 9, 10 years old. But with this podcast here, I just haven't really. Hold on, somebody's calling me. Oh, my cousin is calling me. That's funny. Hello? Hello?
Happy birthday.
Oh, appreciate that, cuz. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, cuz. I know your birthday had just passed up, right?
No, we have the same birthday.
Oh shoot. Gosh, no, you had just graduated. That's right. That's right. That's what I'm thinking of. You just got your doctorates, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations, cuz. Oh, we have the same birthday. I forgot about that. Every year I forget, man. I appreciate the birthday wishes though. I really do, man. I love you.
Yeah. We're 30 now.
Isn't that insane?
It's insane. Yeah.
It is. It is. You know what's crazy right now, Gerard? I'm actually live. I'm live streaming to my audience. I go live. I do a podcast each and every week, right? And I was just about to
Really?
wrap. I was just about to wrap it up, but you called me while I was on live stream, and so you're talking to my audience right now. My audience, they're saying what's up.
Hey, audience. Hey, what's up?
Yeah. This is my cousin, guys. This is my cousin. We have the exact same birthday. It's actually mind blowing to think about it. Every year.
Yeah, you're like an hour. Yeah, you're like an hour older than me.
Oh, really? When were you born? Oh, I got somebody else calling me.
2:41 in the morning.
2:41. Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Hey, look, cuz I appreciate the call.
I know you gotta run.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go ahead.
Audience, happy birthday. Yeah, peace and blessings to you.
Thank you. And they say the same. The audience says the same to you. I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate it.
All right, talk to you later. Bye. Wow, man. All love, all love. I got some more calls to get to. So again, guys, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys for everything that you guys do for me. I don't even know if you guys can still hear me at this point. I don't know if my audio inputs changed, but love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys later. Of course, as always, stay positive, test negative, and never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. This has been another episode of Quiet Storm Sports. This is a very grateful and appreciative Sutton Def on his 30th birthday, who will see you guys in the next episode, which will be the reaction episode to the Patriots versus Ravens games. Peace.